Okay, welcome, good evening. Today's topic is which diet is best for you or works best, right? So that's like quasi-religious wars have been fought over diets. This corner, low carb, this, that, the other. So I'm just gonna go through some common diets and try to explain their pros and cons and what works and what doesn't work, okay? So, first of all, no diet operates outside physics, okay? So if there's no calorie deficit, no matter what you're doing, you ain't gonna lose weight, okay? So there's no like intermittent fasting, eat as much, and no, you need a caloric deficit, okay? So with that being said, I'm gonna start with a vegan, which is more of a belief system / lifestyle and a diet. So for weight loss, it has a distinct disadvantage that by its very nature, it's very carb heavy. So it's very hard to cut your carbohydrates down to a low level because there are just very few protein sources from plants that are just protein, you know, so there's basically only tofu, and how much can you eat? Now, if you're willing basically to do vegan shakes for the protein, vegetables, and then some fats from whatever, nuts, avocado, and I would recommend a supplementation with B12, zinc, magnesium, and leucine, because that amino acid doesn't appear, then you would be okay eating vegan, you know, but it's definitely an uphill battle, but I can see why people do it. I understand the ethics. For fat loss, it's probably not the easiest route. Then there's the caveman diet, which is, for someone who studied history like me, it's a bit ambitious. So it's essentially the caveman diet is like a really expensive Atkins diet, right? So you eat like quality steaks, vegetables, so grilled meat, veggies, and not much else, right? Well, the caveman, way back when, lived off grains and roots. So he actually ate a very carb-heavy diet. So does it work? Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're basically going low carb, right? That's really a caveman diet. You're eating lots of protein, some vegetables. What I don't like is that it's so carbophobic. Because, talk about in the carbohydrate video, carbs are good for performance and recovery, and taking them out entirely, you know, just because of some rather obscure thinking is not something I would recommend, you know. So the caveman diet could be done on rest days when you don't need that many carbohydrates. You could say I'm just going veggies and grilled dead animals. Fine, I get that. Then next on the hit list we have intermittent fasting. So that's basically, there's no set rule. You take X amount of hours and you eat all your calories in dairy. Does it work? Yes, but it's not great. Why is that? Well, first of all, it's not great for heavy athletes because they have to eat a lot of food in a very confined amount of hours. Okay, and then there's one nutrient that you need to spread, which is protein, right? But you're not doing this. So for muscle growth, intermittent fasting is actually a really bad idea, right? Because you're not spreading your protein servings, which means a good chunk of the time during the day, there are not enough amino acids in the bloodstream. What people get wrong is that you can't just take these hours and eat whatever, and then at 6 o'clock you stop. If you overeat during those hours, you're gonna get fat. There's no magic insulin release, there's no magic testosterone boost, none of that. There's no extra fat burn. Now, if somebody says, look, I just suck with snacking at night, and if I just eat my calories from noon to 6, I know what I'm doing, then that's okay, right? So I'm like, all right, go ahead, you know? If that works for you, is it optimal? I don't feel like it, because it's arbitrary, like 6 hours, 8 hours, Eastern time, Hawaiian time, like who says who, right? But fine, if that's what you want to do. Then there's keto. So keto is pretty much a cult in my opinion. So it basically says like, carbs are evil, they will make you explode, never touch them, right? So people think that keto used to be called Atkins. If they only eat protein and fat, the body will burn fat. This is true, it does, right? That's where ketosis kicks in. But, for instance, the Eskimos, right, before they were meeting white people, only ate whale blubber and fish. You get the idea. Protein and fat. And they were chubby, okay? Because they ate too much of it. So keto does not mean you can eat bacon and so on and so forth. I think with keto, it's like when people who don't know dieting very well, they go on a keto diet, and then what happens is the body flushes out the, shall we say, 2 pounds or so of glycogen they have in the body, in the muscle and in the liver. That comes with another 10 pounds of water. So they're 12 pounds lighter in 1 week. And they're like, yeah, I lost 10 pounds of fat. You didn't, okay? So the keto diet is also like, again, can you make this a lifestyle? Like, because then, for the longest time, you can't eat any pasta, you can't eat any bread. And like I said, carbohydrates are useful for recovery and performance. So you're depriving yourself of good training sessions, okay? So I'm partial about the keto diet. I feel it's like, it's too culty. Like the people are like, they're too like, only do this, you know? The same goes for the carnivore diet, which again is like excluding too many nutrients, okay? Then we have, if it fits your macros. So basically you can say like, if you have to eat this much protein, this many carbs, this much fat, and you can do this at McDonald's, you're good to go. Well, that's a bit of a faulty promise, right? So, because first of all, you can't fill a bodybuilding diet with junk food. The numbers just don't work out, because junk food, by definition, is high in protein and fat, whereas it's low in protein, right? Is that sound okay, guys? Can you hear me? I'm just realizing this. Give me a quick thumbs up if you can hear me. So there's that, right? So it's being sold as like, yeah, you do whatever and eat whatever. Can you hear me? I'm just realizing that the mic might be off. Yes, no? I'm just gonna keep talking. So you can eat whatever and lose weight, and that's simply not true. So if it fits your macros, like allows you a little bit of leeway, but that being said, I don't think it's really what it's made out to be, okay? Then there is flexible dieting. So flexible dieting says like you don't have a fixed, like you have to fix daily, but you have some leeway. So like it's your brother's wedding, you eat a little bit more, and so on and so forth, but you eat a little bit less the next day. I think for experienced lifters, that's a good idea. For people who are new to all this, no way, okay? It just leads to overeating all over the place, you know? By the way, that's kind of how I diet, but I've been doing it for so long, that's probably a little bit of a different story. Then there is low carb. So low carb is not no carb, okay? So low carb allows for some carbohydrates around the workout or so, and a higher fat content. I can live with that, but my favorite is a lower fat, higher carb diet. Why? Because it allows you to perform better during the workout. Carbs are more satisfying because they have more volume than fats, plain and simple, like we just get more for the calorie, you know, and they keep people generally happy because of serotonin. So there you have it, that's my roundup. Everybody be safe, Mike out.